Well, um, so overall, I think I think the team did a lot better than I imagined. Today's kind of been a rough one for tonight's series. I think a lot of players weren't in the right state to to play. I think Bob was very tired. I was tired after a really long day at work. Galvin wasn't having it that day, and actually had a lot of caffeine in his body, so he made some pretty weird decision. But it's all fun. We played 3 1-hour games, and we gave our audience a show. Uh, so yeah, onto the team. Um, the team performed obviously a lot better than I imagined. We had a rough 05 start, and then things started to change. Rob was removed from the list, and we also swapped me and Timber. Not me and Timber. Sorry, me and FJ for the lanes, and it worked out perfectly, or not perfectly, but like a lot better for the team overall. Me working with Tiger in the lane stage, I kind of directed him with a lot of the early game early game stuff like the lanes. Like I kind of just like directed most of the kills towards him. Like I told him like what to do in lane, and like he does the thing. He's pretty obedient. Um, to the things I ask for. And then meanwhile, FJ and Timber, they're off in their own world. They are either like owning the lane, they are like 9 kills up, or they're feeding. But you know what? That is a lot better than me and Timber. Um, just like dooming ourselves on a constant loop. Like me and Timber would like literally just like drown ourselves in like depressive thoughts about playing Dota 2. Um, so yeah, or it can also be more up. But anyways, team got a lot better after a few changes. Um, and a little bit about my personal things on Rob. I didn't have a problem with him personally because he didn't like directly attack me, but I know that he did say me things in pubs and not acceptable. So kind of does warrant the ban from the league, but I do genuinely believe he's trying to become a better person. So uh, any admins are watching this, I would give him a second chance in the future, but just not right now. Anyways, individual players. I want to talk. I want to talk about the captain. Captain's FJ. Talk about it real quick. So FJ, before the draft, what I had in mind was that I thought I was not going to be drafted for FJ. I have received a note from the past that FJ like does not want to play with me. So I was actually really surprised when FJ picked me up, and I asked FJ like, wait, why did you pick me up? And I felt bad for him because he just picked up like a Glecko Immortal player, a support player, and he also wanted me drafted me for carry or support, but I gave him the choice of like which one do you want, and then he ultimately picked up Tiger later on for a really good price, so which then put me on support. But anyways, I didn't expect myself to be playing with FJ, but FJ has never played with me before prior to the season, so this was like news to him, and I was like, well, I actually didn't know that. So I actually thought that FJ hated me for years. Well, FJ didn't know who the fuck I was. Anyways, I do know that FJ and I both have opposite ends of the hero pool. If we look at this, like FJ's heroes kind of pretty much consist of a lot of melee heroes, and my hero pool, um, let's see on the side. It will mostly be all range heroes, and like I retired Clock in. I'm kind of a bit iffy on Nex, but I don't really think that like Nex is the brawler melee hero that you want in your lane, or like the P4 that you want. And maybe he can work, but overall he's a very weak laner. So as a captain, FJ has a really good vibe to him. He's a great captain. So if you get drafted by him, you're in for a really good time. Um, his mind isn't really too set about winning. I think he's just there to have like a good time with the team. He just wants a nice vibe. So I kind of go with it. Gameplay wise, FJ makes some pretty crazy calls that kind of leads to us feeding a lot, and including himself. His map positioning is or like from another support perspective is like, oh my gosh, what the hell are you doing there? And which is gonna like accumulate so much space on the map that's going to help your team, or he just feeds. He just dies randomly. So I don't know. He's a bit crazy. If he tones down the the calls that he makes, like I'm not saying that his calls are bad, but like his calls kind of leads to like some overextensions. He's very ambitious about his plays. Um, it is his that is going to be the big weakness of him as a player. But overall, I had a nice time with FJ. He's pretty much open with things, and yeah, he was a person with good vibes. So I like him. What's next? What else want to talk about? I want to talk about Timber. Let's talk about Timber. Um, so Timber mentality, like it's the first thing that comes to me as Timber as a player is his mental, and his mental state is the only thing that I hold precious, and is the biggest priority of mine in these games. When I first started off, t- um, Timber wasn't really having fun, and we weren't really having many success in our lanes, which led to us being just like we're just like doom posting, or basically, or like we're just dooming ourselves like constantly. And Timber, the thing I said to him was that if we want to win, the first thing we want to do is to have fun, and I want you to have fun in these games. And so, um, in these RTO games, I always ask him like, "Yo, what hero do you want?" Yeah, I don't care if it's bad. I do not care what the hero is. I only care that you have fun. And sometimes you get a 17-10 next assassin. But I think it's this for this person, fun is his biggest priority. That's going to lead to him winning. Um, but I think he certainly had fun in the series, but he wasn't really having a good day for that matter. Him as a player, like him individually, um, he's good. He's pretty solid for for the player. If you ever do draft him in the future, I think he's pretty solid. He's a really solid offlane pick. You do need to like shot call him in the right direction, but sometimes he can't pick it up, and he does sometimes like he does his own decisions, and he'll do some calls for himself. That's good. That's what I want to hear from my offlaner. Um, but since that like he's not our primary shot caller, could be a potential issue when it comes to playing with him, because you want to center most of your team, or like sorry your mid game around your offlaner. So that could be like a slight issue as well. And also um, I think play wise individually, like yeah, I mean it's just there's like nothing too spectacular, and there's also like nothing too terrible about Timber besides his mental. I think that's the only thing you need to keep in mind about him. And as long as you have his mental intact, like he's a good player. So I think that's that. And Timber, if you're watching this, like give yourself more credit as a player. You're a lot better than you think, and you have also massively improved since the beginning of the season as well. And I hope you improve to much greater heights. And eventually, one day, you're gonna hit Immortal. I feel like you're gonna hit Immortal in like before this year ends if you try hard enough. So I had a really fun time with you. So yeah. Um, let's see. Who's on the so, is this let's see. I want to talk about. Let's me talk about Tiger. So Tiger. Let's see. So Tiger. Him as a player. Um, personality wise, he was. He's very nice. I am surprised that he has not muted me yet. I'm actually really that surprised. um, I think I had higher. I was being. Oh, sorry, but personality. Sorry. Um, Personality wise, he's great. PMA player. Doesn't get toxic. I don't think he gets toxic, but I do think he's like sometimes harsh on himself, like Timber. I kind of felt it towards the end of the season. Um, he's a bit harder on himself. Um, but I think he's good. He's pretty solid. We did get him at a pretty cheap price, so you know, what more can I ask for? Um, his his thing is that let's see. Okay, so starting to talk about the player himself. He is a player that is very obedient. He listens to things very well, and um, but sometimes like you need to treat this player like the carry. Maybe I'm expecting way too much out from him, and maybe that's my own fault. But sometimes like I can't wear to watch over him a lot, and he kind of dies in random places or like makes a really wrong move, which could potentially cost us the game, basically. But like those are mistakes. It happens. You just got to accept it and move on, or learn from it. And I think this guy, he learns. He's a great player. Um, he does pop off in our games sometimes. Um, his Reki's pretty notable. I really like his Bloodseeker. We forced him a lot on Bloodseeker as well. And he doesn't really enjoy farming carries. He enjoys the carries that are like he wants action. He basically wants actions, even if he has like half a battle for or something. He really wants to pull himself to fights. I feel like he has watched so many of like high MOR replays of like carries just always taking action. He's like, oh, I want to do that, but we always tell him like, no, you go farm, you go farm, you go farm. So, yeah, the guy has a lot of energy in him in terms of like what he wants to do, um, in the game, but like carry players, like they need some farm or they have farmed too much. But this guy, if you put, I think if we have put him on more active heroes like probably Ursa, Slark, MK, for that could probably push him a bit further, but we kind of just stuck him on like a lot of like the default heroes that kind of just been working out for us. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry if I was ever too harsh on you in the games, and I'm like a lot of things goes on in my mind. I have great expectations from my carry as a support player. I try helping out a lot. Um, I don't but like I don't want to like always come like sometimes come off as when I like give you give you some calls and like some stuff and like bad things happen for the team um but I kind of I kind of care about like the game state, so like I'm sorry if I'm ever like that mean to you. I'm Yeah. So yeah, I think that's most for Tiger, but for teams that wants to do draft him in the future, I think he's pretty solid, and I feel like he's going to learn a lot from this league. And if he does put a lot of effort into learning and like make less and less mistake and become more consistent, um, this guy could be a menace in the league. I totally believe it. So yeah, that's that's most for Tiger. I did have a really good time laying with you as well. We have some really good synergy when we get like Disruptor, Bloodseekers, our favorite combo. All right, and then I think Bobby. Bobby's like the last one, I think, right? Yeah, other ones to stand. So Bobby, he came in. He came in like around like I don't know week 4, week 3. I don't know. I lost fucking track. Um, Bobby was he was a lot better than I expected. I'll be real honest. Um, this guy like sometimes he falls behind, but like he's always going to try to make the effort to play the game. As Timber would say, he's a mid player with like an offlaner's mentality. He always wants to make sure there's action going on in the game, and he's always trying to make space, like as if he's playing offlane. Like he's like running off into the side lanes. He's running around the map, and um, he's always like getting people on his tail. That's why he likes Puck so much, or like any most mobile hero. He's pretty good with calls. He has a really wide hero pool, um, much greater than I imagined. And showing from here, um, let's see. I don't think I have really too much to criticize about this player, rather than like just be better than most mids, because he does like some like is expected. Like sometimes um you kind of do get stopped by immortal mid players, and it is what it is. But he does make the most effort on trying to still have relevant game impact. So I appreciate his effort, and thank you so much for being a good sport on the team as well. Him also personality wise, he values minorities. He doesn't say racist things, so that's all I could ask for. So yeah, if you do draft him in the future, great player. I think he's like really he's a high value player if you do get them, if you do think about drafting him in the future or something like that. Me myself, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be biased. I think I suck. I suck so much. Oh my gosh. So playing with me, um, in this season, it started off really rough. Oh shit, I can't really. Can I filter this out? Fuck me, I can't. So start of the season, kind of um, I kind of had like some like regret, and like I felt sorry for FJ that like he drafted a bait. He drafted a fake immortal player. I got click code to immortal, and I felt really sorry for him. And this is like right before the lane swap happened. I was like, God damn, I was so tilted. I left call in between the series, and I was like, I suck at this game. I suck. I don't deserve anything. I should quit. They should get a better player. And then he offered me, you want to swap roles and give it a shot? And you know what? Honestly, the game was like 10 times more fun. So I'm glad I took the chance. I'm really glad I listened to my captain. Um, I played my best, obviously. I kind of just wish, me as a player, I have a bit more passion in this game. I kind of wish that my brain wasn't too tired to function in these games. Like, I could be doing a lot more. I could be um, doing more shot calling as well, but I don't have any confidence. All my confidence got broken by Pan. And pretty much showing me that like I was like a really bad player and I shouldn't be making calls at all, and then that kind of just like broke my mentality a lot. And I kind of stay quiet for most of the time, and that's not really a good thing. I don't think. I'm like someone that like I tend to listen to calls a lot more than making them, and I have like a lot of really bad judgment. But overall, at the end of the day, like my team told me like any call is better than no call. So what can you do? Like um I didn't. I kind of like. I think I did overall have like a good impact on this team, but sometimes like after some losses, like I kind of go a bit too hard on myself and other people. But you know, at the end of the day, I think I had fun. I had fun watching the team grow. We had a really rough start, and then we started getting the hang of like where the team wants to go and what direction we want to play in. So I think it's really cool, also as well, that the team, us as a team, we lost five games in a row. We lost. I don't think we lost scrims, did we? No, I don't think we lost scrims that much. Um, that we were we were really excited to not excited, but like we were in a positive direction, moving. We want to go for it, and we want to keep trying. We have potential on this team, and at the end, I think we did have a lot of potential. Um, um, and we saw a lot of growth on the team, us as a team, and us as a players as well. So, yeah. Um, overall, I think the season has like it's been a really fun one. Great players, great vibes overall. So, um, I'm I'm looking forward to playing next season if I do have the chance. I'm not sure how it's going to go depending on my work schedule and how my classes are going to treat me. So, till then, see you next time. I'm out.